Hello dear brothers and sisters, today we are talking about saints and their roles. So number one is Saint Blessed Carol Acutis. Saint Blessed Carol Acutis is celebrated every year 12 October, and he had a passion computer self-taught knowledge in programming and website creation. So later on he was named as a patron saint of internet. So the second one is Saint Gerard Majella. Saint Gerard Majella is celebrated on 16 October every year, and he rolled himself as a gardener and a tailor, and later on he was named as the patron saint for agriculture harvest. So another saint we are talking about here is Saint Perpetua and Felicity. Saint Perpetua and Felicity is celebrated every year March 7 and honored as a patron saint of mothers, expectant mothers, ranchers, and butchers. So another saint is Saint Joseph. Saint Joseph, the spouse of the Blessed Virgin Mary, is celebrated every year March 19th, and is a patron saint of Universal Church. And later on in 1962, Pope John XXIII included his name in a Roman canon of the Holy Mass, and later on, recently Pope Francis had his name or expanded in liturgy by adding the seventh new title on him. Number one, he was added as a guardian of the Redeemer, and number two also was added as the servant of the Christ, and number three also was added as the minister of the salvation, and number three also the support in difficulties, and also was added as a patron saint of the exiles, and also was added as a patron saint of the afflicted, and the last one was added as a patron saint of the poor. So another saint here we're talking about here is Saint Anthony of Padua. Saint Anthony of Padua is celebrated every year June 13, and is the patron saint of the lost thing. Another saint is Saint Catherine of Siena. Saint Catherine of Siena is celebrated every year 29 April, and is the doctor of the church. Another saint here is Saint Christopher. Saint Christopher is the patron saint of the travelers. Another saint is Saint Francis of Assisi. Saint Francis of Assisi is celebrated every year 1st October, and is named as a patron saint for animal and simple living. So another saint we are talking about here is Saint Jude Thaddeus. Saint Jude Thaddeus is the patron saint of impossible. Saint Michael the Archangel is also another saint we are talking about here. Saint Michael of the Archangel is celebrated 29th September, and is a powerful warrior of God's protection and the leader of the heavenly armies. Another saint is Saint John the Apostle. Saint John the Apostle is celebrated every year 29 December, and is called John the Evangelist, and is the one who stood in hid from the gongs in the Garden of Gethsemane up to the crucifixion of Jesus, and is the one who took care of Mary after the crucifixion. So he was later on named as the patron saint of the love, because the love he was having in Jesus Christ, and Mary was afterward named as the patron saint of the love, charity, friendship. So we are talking about another one is Saint Henry the Apostle. Saint Henry the Apostle is celebrated every year 30th November, and is the patron saint of the fishermen, singers, and several countries like Romania, Russia, and Ukraine. So another saint we are talking about is Saint Patrick Pio. St. Patrick Pio is celebrated on every year 23rd September and is the patron saint of civil defense, volunteers, adolescents, and his hometown of Poetry Sealing. Another saint or the last saint of today or the saints we are talking about right now is Saint Valentine, which is celebrated every year 14th February. Saint Valentine is the patron saint of the lovers, engaged couples, and the happy marriages. So, dear viewers and viewers, this is the saints I want to bring to you, but we have many and many which I cannot talk about here. But what I want you to do is just go on my content, view the saints, the one I put every day. There they have their roles there. You can read and find out the roles which is there. So I wish you as we continue through this journey. Bye bye for now.